Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Yes, we are really doing this every week, apparently. Today I have a fun one, I think, and that is a book and movie comparison of The Housemaid. I saw The Housemaid in cinema a few days ago, and I'm not really a big movie person, but when it comes to movies being based off of books that I read, I have to see it to compare it. And obviously, usually the book is better, but we'll get to that. Is the book really better than the movie? We'll find out. I actually have the books right here. Also, I'm using this microphone as a little thing because it doesn't clip properly onto my shirt. So there you go. So I have the three books right here and I can't really show them without dropping my microphone. So I'll just try to show you with one hand. There they are, the three covers. I don't really have to show them individually because they're basically all just the same. So this is the first one. This is what the movie is based off of. And then we have the two sequels, which are literally just the same cover, just in a different color. But also I'm a big hater of this cover because it's just really ugly. I'll show you again so you can take a look. What is it? I don't know. They just did a really bad job. The blue, I think it's a wood texture, is really grainy. And it's just... yeah, no, it's not it. All right, so I'm gonna split this video into a few parts, and if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my laptop because that's where my notes are. We have characters and focus, plot and pacing, use of setting and details, acting and casting, adaptation choices, and just a few random thoughts. Just a little note, this video might contain slight spoilers for both the movie and the book, so if that bothers you, then maybe don't watch this, but I'll try to, not really spoil the twist if I can. All right, so we're starting with characters and focus. And there was one thing that was really apparent to me already when I was watching the movie throughout the first hour, because I think the movie's 2 hours. So throughout the first half of the movie, I already noticed this, and that is that we barely get any visuals of Enzo. Enzo is a pretty significant character in the book, and we only see him for a few shots in the movie, and he has 2 lines, which are in broken English. I know in the book he also doesn't speak English well, but this was just kind of weird to me, and Enzo is one of my favorite characters in this book, so that was kind of sad to see. And also the same thing went for the balance between Nina and Andrew. So Nina got a lot more attention in the book, which, she's obviously the one who hires Millie, and we get to see a lot of her. There's a lot of scenes where she goes apeshit. And it was just weird because, in my opinion, Andrew got so much more attention in the movie, especially with all the romantic scenes, which was just kind of weird to me because we only get that in the book for one chapter maybe, just one specific thing that happens. And it was a really big part of the movie, which was kind of unnecessary for me. So yeah, I think the book focused more on Nina and the movie focused more on Andrew as a secondary main character. I also feel that Nina goes crazy, like I said before, in the book a lot, and this also happened in a movie, but I feel like it was just so much less fake in the book. I feel like it's also very hard to visualize this, and also you have to have a very good actor in order to, act all crazy and stuff, and for it to be realistic. But I feel like in the book, she had a bunch more logical reasons to go so mad, and in the movie it was kind of just really random. She just went crazy and we kind of had no idea why, and it was also very unjustified, while in the book it's also unjustified, but you can kind of justify it. So I feel like that was also done better in the book. All right, next part, plot and pacing. The first part of the book and the movie is where Millie gets interviewed by Nina in order to get this housekeeping job, and in the book, this is actually a pretty significant part because you can kind of get a lot of thoughts from Millie because it's obviously written from her perspective. And in the movie, we also get this, but I feel like it's kind of forced to get those thoughts. In the book, it was much better done. And because this interview part was really short in the movie, it felt kind of fake and rushed because there was kind of no reason to hire Millie by Nina because, there was just... the interview was 5 minutes long. Obviously, she had another reason for hiring her, which I won't say, but Still, this felt kind of weird if you don't know what twist is coming yet. Then also towards the ending, you get the giant twist, whatever, and I feel like this was so spoon-fed to the audience, especially in the movie. In the book, this also kind of happens, but in the book, you kind of get like, there's something leading up to that twist, and we get like more action of, like we kind of slowly discovered a twist, and in the movie, it was kind of just like, that's it. Now we're just gonna show you all these flashbacks, and this is the twist. And it was just kind of so obvious, and it was just such an easy way out. I mean, it was still fun to watch, but I feel like it was just so much better than the book. Use of setting and details. Alright, so in the book and the movie, obviously Millie sleeps in this kind of attic room, and it's kind of a creepy room. It has a window that doesn't open, and it has a lock from the outside of the door, so obviously that's kind of weird. I feel like in the book, it was really well done that this was kind of, a pretty logical place for her to sleep as well, because obviously to have like a guest room in the attic, it used to be a storage room, whatever. But in the movie, it was clearly dressed up as like a very creepy room, like something was gonna happen there. And obviously if you read the book, you're gonna know that something is gonna happen in that room, but still, it was like the audience wasn't smart enough to figure that out themselves, so they had to make it like super obvious in the movie, and that made it feel kind of cheap. Of course there's gonna be something with that room because of the way they introduced it, but they didn't have to make it look so obvious. And another thing, which I understand that they did this because obviously a book is way longer than a movie, so I have to cut some stuff out. But I feel like obviously the movie and the book is called The Housemaid, and Millie is being a housemaid for this family. But we see her doing very little housemaid tasks, which is kind of weird because obviously we want to see like all the crazy stuff that happens, but why don't we see her cleaning something like once? There's like a few scenes where you see her like wiping something for like a second and then something else happens. So I feel like that was kind of weird too, because we don't really see her like actually living there and doing her job, and just only see the other stuff that happens. Also, I feel like everything happens really quickly in the movie. Like she's been there for like one day and then something crazy already happens, and in the book this goes by way more slowly. That wasn't really the case in the movie. All right, acting and casting. So I think the casting was really well done. I feel like the characters all had the same looks as the way I imagined them, except Millie. But I feel like because she's a main character, they had to get like a nice actress for that as well, who was recognizable. But I felt like she was a bit more run down because she was obviously homeless, so obviously. Also, I imagine her with darker hair. And I'm not sure if that was just my imagination or if that was actually mentioned in the book, but I just imagined her with dark hair. So the acting was kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. Also, I feel like Nina's actress, I'm sorry, I don't know their names, but I feel like her actor was the best out of all of them. And the rest was just kind of, yeah, I don't know, they didn't really feel like they were enjoying it. And also with Andrew, he was really good at playing like that nice guy. Like everyone wants him, obviously, because he looks good and he's nice and he, I don't know, cares for his psychotic wife. But after that, when he had to be like kind of, more evil, that really did not come across with him. I mean, I could not see him in that way. I don't think it was the right actor for that. So, yeah. All right, so the adaptation choices, which is kind of the wrap up of all my points. The movie kind of changes the whole balance of the story by overemphasizing Andrew compared to where the book kind of focuses more on Millie and Nina. And I feel like that was a weird choice and not super necessary, but maybe they just couldn't fill out a whole movie doing it the other way around. I feel like that wasn't my favorite part of the movie, and that was also why it made it kind of feel so different. And also, by doing this, a lot of important subtleties from the book got lost in the translation to the movie, which I feel like this always happens with movie adaptations of books, because obviously they have to kind of, make decisions. Like, we can't put everything in there because otherwise the movie would be like 10 hours long. So I get that. The ending also had a nice hint to a second part, which is actually the same thing they do in the book. The ending ends the same. And I feel like that was a nice hint because apparently there's a second movie coming. I'm not sure if this was confirmed. I don't know. I didn't look this up. But when I was logging this on Letterboxd, I saw like a little movie poster of the second book. So I guess there's gonna be a sequel, which is fine. I just hope they don't make the third into a movie because the third book was just bad and really unnecessary. Then there's this really random thing that I noticed, and you'll get this when you see the movie, but Millie has like this little troll that she carries around, and we find out what that troll's significance is later in the movie. And I actually don't know if you have this in the book because I didn't recognize it at all, so I really don't remember if this was a thing. But why was there a troll in a snow globe? You really have to see the movie in order to get this, but why was there a little troll with like hairs in a snow globe? Like, that was a snow globe, right? I don't know, but that was weird to me. And also, why did that kid get the troll from her room? Like, why was that necessary? I think that was just a little bit weird. So I don't know, just some thoughts. Alright, so that was my book and movie comparison of The Housemaid. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if this video has made you want to read the book or watch the movie, or do both if you haven't already. I thought about making this video about People We Meet on Vacation as well by Emily Henry because I recently saw that movie too. I just don't really remember a lot from that book because it was so long ago that I read that. It was over 5 years ago, I think. So I don't think I'll be doing that, but for The Housemaid, I feel like because it's also a thriller and has a twist, it would have been fun to do that. And also I saw this one in cinema, so I could add some footage of me actually going there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and see you hopefully next week. Bye!